need to check the calendar. We will probably be doing Infocom games. Install icon. We will go for JK, I think. I'm pretty sure it's installed in here. Yes, L. See if this works. Now, usually I dive it. We'll probably do an infocom. What we'll do for 45 minutes though is level 9's Lancelot, and this probably warrants a quick rearrangement of the desk. So give me a minute whilst we change categories, and I try and work out where the hell the panel is for that. Create a dashboard? Yeah. Content. Where am I? Stream Manager. Edit stream info. Playing Lancelot from level 9. Atari STE. I bet this doesn't have a category. Oh, it does. Of course it does. Okay. And we are going to move that over there. Move that over there. Move very carefully this whole unit. Across. Because, hey, it's a text adventure and we have to type. Oh. We are not needing that. So out that comes. Out that comes. They can go to the floor for a bit. Oh. And this is possibly the worst setup that we could possibly use for this. But we're only going to play this for 45 minutes or so. So let's give it a shot. Does this game have a thing that your aunt gave you that you don't know what it is? No. I had to think about that. No, this one doesn't. That might be Tuesday. I think we're going to move away from doing... We've done Hitchhikers a few times. I'm playing on the Scion, carefully, Kian, on this thing, because this thing's got an excellent Infocom engine for it. It's just a port of Frots. I'm currently playing Leather Goddesses of Phobos on there. So I'm avoiding playing that on stream. I don't know, we might do a bureaucracy run. Which is, I've played a few times and still not finished, and is still incredibly frustrating because it's bureaucracy. So I might grab the bureaucracy image for this, pop it into high res mode, and we may do that. But this thing was like fun for 45 minutes. So, and it comes with graphics, things with. Thank you. Yeah, it's this. Level 9 games are interesting because you get graphics alongside the text, but it uses a different engine that's not as extensive as the Zork engine, the Infocom engine. So I know that this can get a bit tricky, and I know it does lead you into significant dead ends. So the next 45 minutes are just going to be for the lols. Yeah, I'm not expecting us to get very far with it. It's just going to be a bit of exploration. Okay. You can use RAM save and RAM restore to save a position in memory. Okie dokes. And undo to retrace your steps. When Squire Lancelot was of age, he took his journey towards Camelot, for the reputation of King Arthur was known to all the world, and everyone praised the Fellowship of the Round Table. You could go straight to the final part, the quest for the Holy Grail, but assume you want Lancelot's full story. Shall we start at the beginning? Yes. Lancelot was riding east. Let's not go to Camelot. It's a silly place. This is not going to contain audio, so really, let's see if we can get something to go with it. God. I need like a fifth desk at this point. Who'd have thought that... yeah. Run away! Aha. Yes, but are you royalty free? Just because you said the words... You're tempting. Sorry, folks, it's taking much longer than intended. Oh, that's terrible. Red, I mean blue. No! Royalty. Becca. Da, 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 da. Not helpful. Really not helpful. The all. Say? No. No. Close enough? That'll do. Okay. I mean, you'd think we need some royalty, but I'd rather that we were. I'd rather we went for democracy. Okay, Lancelot was riding east along a forest road. Leafy branches hung over the track, which was deep-rutted and churned by heavy ox carts and the footprints of men and horses. This was the road to the great city of Camelot, the heart of the kingdom. Thy command, sire? East. Squire Lancelot rode east and was wading through a ford. Though the river was wide, it ran swiftly here. Lancelot could see the Black Knight. The Black Knight sat straight and proud upon his horse and challenged Lancelot. Squire, no man can pass this way save with my permission. You must prove your worth before you may cross this ford. Hack arm off. Yeah. You need not use hack to finish this game. Inflict a flesh wound. Ah. Hit knight. They fought for a long time, with neither man giving any quarter. First one had the upper hand, then the other, and soon each came to know that his opponent was a valiant knight. They fought on, trading blow for blow, until at last the Black Knight yielded. Did Lancelot accept his surrender? Okay, up for a vote. Do we let him live? Or do we, you know, remove his heart and eat it as a kebab? Live or kebab? As if he surrendered. Needs more limbs removing first. I think this is going to have a problem. Remove limbs. Yay or nay, please? Yay! The Black Knight removed his helm and showed himself to be King Arthur. Gramercy, sir, you fought well and chivalrously. In truth, you were a most worthy opponent, he said with a bow. It would please me to knight you and to have you join the company at the Round Table. Come to me tomorrow at my castle in Camelot. The king summoned his guards from the bushes beyond, where they had waited to watch the fight, and the royal party rode for the city. Thy command, sire? Well, we'll carry on going east, right? Squire Lancelot rode east, and was on a road lined with great elms. Between the branches he could see peasants at work and on the land. To the east was the great city of Camelot. Its pale walls reflected the colours of the setting sun, and seemed to grow in majesty each time he looked up. Lancelot spurred on his mount, eager to reach his goal with all speed. Thy command, sire? Eat Twinkie. Lancelot refused, for his tastes were accustomed to finer things. Okay, let's carry on east. Squire Lancelot rode east and was on the road through the castle village. Yep, makes sense. Untidy mud and straw huts dotted the roadside. So that would be the this bit. I don't know if I have a pointer. I do, but it only works on the bottom half. Interesting. Ah, we're in mixed modes. Atari STE mode, we've got text on the bottom, we've got graphics up top. Lancelot could see a beggar, some peasants, and a pot of stew. Okay. Children playing in the dirt and peasant women scrubbing vegetables outside the huts. Stopped to stare silently at Lancelot as he rode by. But Lancelot scarce noticed the serfs nor their hovels, for his eyes were fixed upon the walls and towers of Camelot that filled the sky before him. Well, shall we talk to beggar? I can find no verb in that sentence. That's stupid, Kian. Greet beggar. Thank you. If you want to talk to someone, type their name and what you want to say. Arthur, hello. I'll change to bump prompts. Okay. The beggar inquired after his health. He drank some water from the river. The peasants welcomed the beggar like a brother. He drank... Beggar, hello. The beggar inquired after his health. Yeah? He drank some water from the river. The peasants welcomed the beggar like a brother and gave him some crust to eat. He wolfed them down and thanked the peasants warmly. Peasants, hello! The peasants murmured something in reply. The peasants milled about. A few of the peasants threw off their clothes and jumped into the river to bathe. Lancelot looked on enviously, for the weather was hot, but his rank prevented him from joining the throng. Really? The peasants started to cook something foul-smelling. Is it beggar? It was a communal pot used for cooking various noxious stews. Can we eat the stew? The peasants add some more vegetables into the pot. To Lancelot it smelled worse and worse. What am I carrying? Oh, naught save his weapons and armour. The beggar went east. The peasants allowed their fire to die away. Jump in river. The peasants shared the stew amongst themselves, only a small portion for each. Huh. The peasants look askance at Lancelot. The peasants gathered up some leaves, wiped the pot clean, and then ate the leaves for their last ounce of nourishment. I mean, I can't do much else for them at this point, can I? Is there a score mechanism? 20 out of 1,000. Oh, let's move on. Squire Lancelot rode east and was outside the Serf's Gate. A muddy track led through the narrow opening, and a hubbub of voices could be heard from beyond. The double gates were of thick oak. I could repress them some more. The double gates were of thick oak and no larger than need to be, admit a straw wagon or a mounted knight. Dusk began to suck the colours from the greying world, leaving only the pools of light from the torches of Camelot. Not gate. 'Tis more profit in other matters. You're going to tell me we can't go through, can't you? Oh, no, you can. Squire Lancelot alit from his horse and walked east and was inside the Serf's Gate. Piles of rubbish littered the ground, while soldiers and servant lads scurried to and fro. A few mangy dogs and cats searched among the debris for scraps of food. Lancelot could see Sir Kay. Two young urchins turned to stare at Squire Lancelot, then ran off to spread word of the new arrival. Sir Kay stared full at the newcomer. "Well, I never. See what the cat dragged in. If you have business in this place, I suggest you go and sleep in the mews. They cost nothing, which should suit you fine, and are close by here." He gestured arrogantly to the east and north. "Be off with you, squire. There is a curfew for the rabble, you know." Hello, Kay. Kay, hello. Not hey, hello. Kay, hello. Sir Kay echoed hello. Okay. So, east and north, he said. Squire Lancelot went east, mounting his horse, and was on the way west. Narrow, crooked lanes splayed out in the depths of the city, soon disappearing in the maze of houses and shops. Shopkeepers hawked their wares, shouting loudly to all who passed. Lancelot looked on with interest, but did not dally. Squire Lancelot rode north and was in the North Warren among the twisting lanes of the city. The larger lanes had been cobbled and seemed to run from north to south. Others were but mud tracks, and all were filthy. As Lancelot rode, the skies darkened to black and rain started to fall. Squire Lancelot was all but struck by peelings thrown from a high window. Rode north and was on the road outside the mews. The soft earth beside the cobbled east-west path was pockmarked with hoofprints and paddled by passing men and dogs. Lancelot realised that this was the place Kay had named. Okay. East-west path. Rode east and was on the King's Road, a wide, well-worn fairway smoothly paved with flags of stone. The road narrowed to a cart width as it passed through the northmost city gate. Lancelot knew this gate led to Logris, the main part of the country, where he might meet further adventure. A man-at-arms strode by and saluted Lancelot as he passed. You need not use salute to finish the game. Okay. Squire Lancelot rode west and was on the road. Just to the west, the paved surface gave way to a mud track, while to the north it led on to the great stone yard of the stables. North. An upturned horseshoe had been nailed to the wall. A stable boy came forth, carrying a pitchfork full of steaming straw. Lancelot halted his mount to let him pass by, and the boy grunted his thanks. Squire Lancelot alit from his horse and walked north and was in the stables. The stink of horses filled the air, and the whinnying and stamping of a proud and angry steed came from the dark recesses. A stable lad tucked his forelock respectfully as he passed Lancelot on the way out. Stable horse? Park horse. Squire Lancelot could not have fastened the horse. Whoa! The stink of horses filled the air, and the whinnying and stamping of a proud and angry steed came from the dark recesses. Do we get an exit command? Yep, fine. Squire Lancelot began to feel weary with the rigours of his journey and the long battle with the Black Knight. He thought it best to find somewhere to sleep soon. I mean, I'm trying. I'm in the stable. That was the stable. Lancelot rode west and was on the road. Parts of it were very muddy, and he had to ride it in twists and turns to avoid the puddles. The road had been turned to a bog all around the door of a low-roofed building on the north side. As Lancelot came by, there was a loud barking and baying. Squire Lancelot was alit from his horse and walked north and was in the kennels. The air was fusty with the aroma of warm straw and damp dogs. As Lancelot stooped into the room, a wet nose thrust itself in his face as welcome. You can't fuss the dog. Lancelot laid him down to rest. Time passed. Cannot pet dog. 0 out of 10. Wake, you will have to supply an object to go with that. I really have no inkling as to what you are yammering about. Only clerics were very much concerned about the time, which was of no import to Lancelot. The north stood a crumbling stone dwelling with a roof thatched with straw, much of which had tumbled to the ground beneath. At first it seemed as if none lived within, for cobwebs locked the windows and the low door hung awry. Against the great wall grew a stone-coloured host of giant plants, the like of which Lancelot had never seen. A wrinkled hand, and wrapped in a long flapping sleeve, beckoned to him from an attic window. Squire Lancelot alit from his horse and walked north and was on a flight of ill-lit stairs. They creaked with... Now, if this is a Sierra game, we know what's coming. And was on a flight of ill-lit stairs. They creaked with age, and some of the treads were marvellously cracked. The smell of old parchment, herbs, and grassy substances drifted down from above. Okay. And grassy. You will have noticed that some of the words in this game are in capital letters, e.g. grassy above. These are nothing to do with solving the game itself, but are clues to a prize competition run in late 1988. From March 1989 onwards, Levels 9's clue sheets include details of the contest questions, a full solution, and how the whole thing went. Huh. Okay, cool. Right. Let's see if we get a Sierra ending. Squire Lancelot went upwards and was in the study, almost a circle in shape, with tons of wood panelling and doorways to the north and east. Skins and heads of animals hung from the walls, and curiously fashioned devices of wood and brass stood upon the table and floor. Lancelot could see Merlin. The sun streamed through the window and set a rainbow gleaming from a great glass jar. Merlin said, "Greetings, Lancelot. Your coming was foretold to me in a dream." Okay. Merlin, greetings. Merlin greeted Lancelot in return, and we spent the entire night just greeting each other. Merlin said, "Well, I never. You look in need of rest and lodgings for the night. Prithee, make yourself at home here." Boom! Oh, this is wrinkly Merlin, not cute Merlin, I bet, probably. Okay. Merlin went north. Squire Lancelot went north and was in the guest room. It was dimly lit and not at all clean. The room was crammed with things great and small that Merlin had accumulated and then put aside over many long years. Lancelot could see Merlin and a bed. Do I need to change the voice? It was nearly buried beneath unpaid bills. What? But after much rummaging and tidying, Lancelot at length cleared enough space for himself. Merlin said to Lancelot, I have something of import to tell you. Know you well that it is destined that the Queen will come to matter much to you. Her fate and yours are bound together. Squire Lancelot, lay down on the bed. Squire Lancelot lay himself down and made what comfort he could, ready for sleep. Merlin went south. Squire Lancelot was full comfortable on the bed. Get to fucking sleep. Excuse my clutch. Squire Lancelot. I could make it more. Squire Lancelot soon descended into sleep. In the morning, he woke refreshed and ready for the challenges of the new day. What? Stand. You must be mad if you really mean that. Well, I'm sorry. Lancelot was in the guest room. Well, Lancelot and Merlin. There will be fanfic somewhere. It was... I haven't seen, like, for example, the BBC Merlin series. But I can imagine someone's done Sam Neill's Merlin at the very least. Lancelot! Lancelot! There we go, we've got it. Yes. Lancelot crept into Merlin's room and asked him to cast his magic again. Lancelot was in the guest room. It was dimly lit and not at all clean. Comes with it. Not Merlot. Oh, Merlot. You could also add gags in there about drinking him up. The puns write themselves. Full cup. Getting a mouthful. Yeah, we could be here for a while with this one. And I've not turned the adult flags on. Lancelot was in the guest room. It was dimly lit and not at all clean. The room was crammed with things great and small that Merlin accumulated and put them aside over many long years. Lancelot could see a bed. An exit led south. Squire Lancelot went south and was in the study, almost a circle in shape with tons of wood panelling and doorways to the north and east. East. Skins and heads of animals hung from the walls, and curiously fashioned devices of wood and brass stood upon the table and the floor. Nothing of note. Something that does make me curious is... curiously fashioned devices of wood and brass, but can't do that. Does this hide objects in... So obviously in Zorkland... why am I struggling with the name of the system? I think I watched one episode of the BBC Merlin series and it was just too tween for my liking, and I just went, nope, noping out of this one. Yeah, it just didn't work for me at all on any level, no levels whatsoever. East. Squire Lancelot went east and was in Merlin's library. It contained more books than there were stones on the heath. Some leant drunkenly against each other on shelves, others lay on a large desk. Amidst a jumble of papers, Lancelot could see some books. Lancelot knocked a file as he passed. There was a loud pop, and a thick cloud of purple smoke burst out into the room. Are we okay? Apparently we are. Okay, examine. Yeah, huff purple smoke. Squire Lancelot picked a £2 book at random and read a selection of Tristram of Cornwall's well-known compositions for the harp. Well known. I'd be curious to know what the puzzle was that ran through this, because we've had Heath, well-known, Circle. I like the graphics. Graphics are lovely. Standard ST, no STE. So what, 4 or 16 colours simultaneously on the screen out of the 4000 palette rather than the extended palette. So we're quite limited in what we have here. Went west and was in the study. Oh, actually, quick check on exits. Hast thou considered typing exits on? It saves time, bitch. Fine. An exit leads west. You will not show yourself to be a noble and valiant knight here in Camelot. He learned his qualities would be weighed for ounces or tons by his actions in the lands beyond, be they large or micro. Went west and was in the study. Yep, exits lead north, east and downwards. Squire Lancelot went downwards and was on a flight of ill-lit stairs. They creaked with age and some of the treads were marvellously cracked. Upwards and outside. Outside. Ah, did you know that you can... This has got a tutorial mode built in. That's really nice. Run to Logris or go to Cathedral. I don't think it's being mean. I think it's being pretty good about giving you, after end turns, prompt for something else. I quite like that. Mounting his horse was on the road, where it dwindled to an end. To the north stood a crumbling stone dwelling. Yep. So we're back on the road again. Dogs north. We're supposed to be meeting... Let's have a look at the horseshoe. I mean, an upturned horseshoe is warding off fairies, right? Or... east. Was pockmarked with hoof prints and padded by passing men and dogs. East, south, southeast, west, and inside. Alit from his horse and walked inside was in the mews. The narrow slatted windows were covered with horn to keep out cold draughts. The air was none too fresh, but the thick thatch kept it dry and fairly warm. Oh, right. Well, we slept at Chateau Merlin, which was definitely an improvement. So, go you. South. North Warren. Among the twisting lanes of the city, the larger lanes had been cobbled. Yep. South and southeast. Stared haughtily about him. Thank you. Go have a good evening, and we will see you when we next play. I didn't ask, how was your stream tonight? You were streaming tonight, weren't you? Appreciate you need to disappear, and that was the wrong time to ask. Exit leads north, northeast, south, east, and west. Hey, Arthur. Huh? Lancelot found he was talking to himself. That's the right format, right? Ask Kay about... Ask Kay hello. He lit from his horse and walked west. Let's go east. Market Square, where Lancelot had to wind his way between makeshift stalls and animal pens. The square was edged on three sides by inns and a shop of craftsmen, but was open to the east where wide lawns lay before the cathedral. Begging him for food, but walked away as he showed her that he had none to give. Was on the lawns beside Arthur's castle. The main drive curved north across the grass and entered into the castle gates. Opposite this, well, let's try going north, was supposed to be being knighted. As Lancelot looked about, he was minded of the formal gardens of his native France and did think fondly of home. Squire Lancelot alit from his horse and walked north through the door and was in the great hall of the Round Table. That's pretty good. It was a high-ceilinged room hung about with bright tapestries, and so large was it that 150 knights could be seated. Fragrant rushes covered the floor, a trampled pathway along the east wall showing where many had pushed past the table. Exits led north and south through a door. Lancelot could see some sieges and a round table. Sieges? Lancelot stood and gazed about him. This was his first sight of the Round Table, and he longed to join its chivalrous company. Okay. Went north and was in Arthur's echoing hall. Echo, echo. Hundreds of wall torches gave a flickering gold glow to the room, making it seem welcoming despite its size. Exits lead east and south. Lancelot could see Guinevere and King Arthur. Those aren't bad portraits. Those could definitely be worse. They're a bit flat. They're missing 150 person strong game of musical chairs. Yeah. Those, I mean, the portraits, they could be better. They look like they've been skewed. They look like they've been painted in one dimension and then tilted, which has a certain artificialness to them, but it's okay. Exits lead east and south. Lancelot could see Guinevere and King Arthur. Bow chicka wow wow. A company of guards were quick to do their duty, springing forward to seize the newcomer, but the young king recognised him and stepped forward in greeting. Arthur, hello. King Arthur greeted him politely. Guinevere smoothed the creases from her robe. King Arthur said, "Welcome to Camelot, Lancelot. Camelot, Lancelot. Merlin has foretold that you are fated to become the greatest of all knights. We are honoured to have you at our court." King Arthur saw no purpose in that. Guinevere raised an eyebrow quizzically. King Arthur said, "I was much taken with your deeds at the meeting of the ford. At the ford, you fought with great valour." Lancelot knelt in reverence. Say hello to the wife. Of course, I was pleased that you did not kill me, else there would have been all sorts of trouble. I mean, how do you progress from here? Arthur Knight? I am the king. Do not bother with me that sort of thing again. Guinevere tilted her head to one side. King Arthur knighted Lancelot and bade him stay and dine with them. As they sat at the table and the drinks flowed, Lancelot stole many a glance at Queen Guinevere. Truly, he thought. Truly, he thought she was a most beautiful and stately woman. And as the evening wore on, it came to him that he was fast losing his heart to her. At times their eyes met, and Guinevere did look away coyly, like a maiden. At length, with his heart in his mouth, he essayed to beg of her the favour of being her champion. As he had feared, she refused, for that she should not be championed by a novice, and for a dreadful moment, Lancelot thought she would rebuff him entirely. But then Gwen smiled knowingly at him. We're going to call her Gwen. And bade him, no, Guinevere, and bade him to return to her when he had proven himself to be worthy of her favour. We have to work for this. At this, Lancelot was drunken with pride and joy, and swore he would not fail, but would go to Logris without delay, there to honour Guinevere with noble deeds and battles chivalrously won. Chivalrously run. Sivin Arthur looked upon Lancelot and said, There are sieges yet to be filled at this round table, and knights of which I have heard, all honourable fellows, the which I need, who are held captive by rebel lords who live beyond my rule. Now could you but bring them to Camelot as free men, that you would prove to be a full worthy knight. We're going to need a recruitment montage. This might break the game. Oh, or it might just work. Oh. Okay, that looked like it worked okay. Guinevere pursed her lips in thought. King Arthur waved to Lancelot in a dismissive fashion. Okay. So off to Castle Anthrax it is. Oh. Yeah. This is quite fun, this one. At least so far. How about if we... Because I'll be honest, doing one adventure, the writing is a lot better. Isn't it just? Or it is so far. I know this gets twisty. I know it has dead ends. I've not played it before, but I've read reviews and I've read people's opinions of it. I have a feeling if we just played this, we'd hit frustration points. And I'm okay with that. But I also want it to be something that we're not just sat hitting walls on all the time. And it's not one that having a walkthrough solves. Some of the walls are to do with random number generators and things. But we could play this in tandem with something else. So we could do an hour on one game and an hour on another. Oh, sorry, an hour on this. For text adventure nights. Because I think doing 2 hours on one game is asking a lot. But doing an hour on something in high resolution mode, and then an hour... Oh, I mean switching hardware. That's not the end of the world. Doing an hour on something in high res mode, and then an hour in this, could be quite fun. What do you think? You are absolutely determined that we're going to redeem stuff. Yeah, you're quite keen. Okay. Let's run it that way. Let's run a couple of games side by side so we're not completely frying out trying to finish one game. Or we keep this in the back pocket and just dip back into it every so often, like at the end of other games. Because, yeah, this is alright. We can't exit out. Exits lead to quit. What did we call it? Camelot. Let's make sure we can do a restore. Whoa! Whoa! Oh, this is the second half. Ah, okay. No, we don't want to see this! Yes. Whoa! I think we upset the game. Tell you what, I'll take that away and play with it. Oh, and see if I can resolve that. We can save files. It might not be restore, it might be load. It might be a different keyword. Z engine, it's restore. It might be load instead. Restore's done something completely different. God knows what, and it's upset the hell out of it and dug straight back into the copy protection. But yeah, that was pretty fun. Thanks very much, folks. We shall go for a rainy remote raid face. Let's go find who we do have. Whereas it's a quiet night. Let's go see who is around. I believe... Yeah, Nikki and Bunty's up, so let's go say hello to them tonight, I think. Whoops-a-daisy. Raid. Okay, so I'll put a post up on Twitter over the weekend once I've done a bit more testing.